No messing around, no preamble, you know what you're here for, finding out more about Maranello's first ever electric car. So let's get right to it. My name is Jake, you're watching Car, and welcome to the Ferrari Luce. Ferrari is arguably the last major car manufacturer to unveil an EV, having spent the last 5 years or so planning to launch one, and even building an entirely new manufacturing facility just to build it. In many ways, the Luce is exactly what you'd expect from a Ferrari. It's a fast, powerful, and technologically advanced piece of engineering. The car was nicknamed Elettrica during development, with the Luce name, meaning light in Italian, being applied for the production car. It's perhaps a little bold to call a 2,300 kilogram car light, but what's bolder is the way it looks. Yes, the Luce's design isn't exactly what any of us were really expecting, but the more interesting point is that Ferrari's actually worked with Love From. Now, Love From is a creative collective, and that's actually been the major force behind the Luce's exterior and interior design. Now, Love From is led by Sir Jonathan Ive and Mark Newsom. Now, Newsom told me earlier that they have worked hand in glove with Flavio Manzoni's design team at Ferrari headquarters. And if Johnny Ive's name sounds familiar, that's because he spearheaded decades of design cleverness at Apple. He designed things like the iMac G3, the original iPod, the original iPhone, and so many more over the span of almost 30 years. But the Luce is a very different project compared to those Apple product designs. It's the longest Ferrari ever, being around 50mm longer than the Purosangue. It's also slightly slimmer than Ferrari's V12 powered SUV, and lower to the ground too. It's definitely an interesting looking thing, that's for sure. I mean, this front end is quite interesting. You have headlights that, these are actually the headlight beams down here. This thin line here actually reminds me a little bit of the Purosangue. But the more interesting detail is actually this huge S-duct that allows so much air to go over the car. There's also quite a lot of black paneling. You'll see it in various places around the car. I have a feeling that's meant to make the Luce look a little bit smaller than what it really appears in those dimensions. Now, the sides of the Luce, it's very clean, it's very neat and very tidy. There is a very simple swooping belt line that stretches right the way across the car. It's a little bit cab forward. It kind of reminds me a little bit of an I-Pace, frankly. There are two wheel designs. There's this sporty 5-spoke option, and there's an aerodynamic one as well, and they're mixed wheel sizes, 23s at the front, 24s at the back, making this the largest combination of wheel sizes on a Ferrari ever. Ferrari claims the aerodynamic wheel option increases range by up to 5%, but of the two available options, they're definitely the more drastic looking. Now at the back, the cleanness continues. You've got a big black panel here, you've got circular taillights, which is a bit of a Ferrari specialty, and a lot of venting down either side. It's a bit strange though, it kind of looks like one car has been built on top of another one. Actually, that's the entire point. The Luce was effectively designed in 2 stages from the Love Form team, with the lower passenger cell being shaped first before the chunky aluminium bodywork was applied around it for the best aero possible. Just like the exterior, the interior has been heavily influenced by Ive's Love From team, with input from Ferrari HQ. Now, I'll be honest, when I first saw the images of the Ferrari Luce's interior, Ferrari actually revealed a few things a few months ahead of the full reveal. I wasn't quite convinced, but I saw it all in isolation. There was images of the steering wheel and the screen and so on, but actually in situ and sat in a car now, it's really, really impressive. It's a bit retro in a good way, I'd say, to a degree, but this steering wheel, for example, this feels like something out of, classic Ferrari race cars, the Daytona and the Testarossa as well, for example. And those dials, those instruments, there's a physical needle for the Speedo, for example, and there's a G-force sensor that actually looks more akin to being part of an aircraft rather than a car. The central infotainment screen is right-sized, not too big or too small, and it can be physically moved around by the metal handle below that also acts as a rest for your hand. The clock in the corner can transform into a compass or stopwatch, and the small paddles act as hard points for details like climate controls or seat heating. There are not one but 2 Manettino dials on the steering wheel. The one on the right has all the usual Ferrari stuff, a bumpy road mode for the suspension, and drive modes that range from traction-focused ICE all the way up to power slide enabling ESC off. The Luce also debuts a new dry mode for more day-to-day driving. The The other dial is labelled the E Manettino and is designed to control power delivery. Range mode halves output to, predictably, preserve range. Tour mode adds a little more shove and enables the Luce's 193 mph top speed, while performance unlocks almost all of the available power. Other details like the volume dial or drive shifter on the center console have a glassy feel to them, and even slotting the key in is an event. The fob itself glows with e-ink when you slot it inside, with an intricate startup animation.
But more than anything else, it's actually the tactility of it all. The switches are just so satisfying to use. Every single thing feels properly solid. And it even extends to things like, oh, there's a launch control little pull hatch down here. And the Love From team even say they designed and milled things like the seat rails. The seat rails are a completely unique design. The detail in here is absolutely fantastic. And it's quite possibly the best part of the Luce's entire package, frankly.
Like the Purosangue, the rear doors are rear hinged. But unlike the Purosangue, the Luce is a proper 5-seater, and one that comes with good space.
There really is a good amount of legroom back here. I've got a good amount of space. There's the usual bits and pieces, armrests with cup holders. There's these gorgeously tactile vents in the front and back, which makes it a great place to read car magazine.
Every month, we bring you the most in-depth stories, road tests, and features on the latest and greatest cars. We put you in the driver's seat, the boardroom, the engineering department, design studio, and on the factory floor. By subscribing, you'll save on in-store prices, never miss an issue, and enjoy delivery right to your door, which is free if you're in the UK. Simply visit greatmagazines.co.uk/car to check out our latest offers. Now, let's get back to the Luce. Under the interesting body is a chassis that's largely made from aluminium and a powertrain setup that consists of an extremely powerful electric motor for each wheel. Yup, 4 e-motors are used here for highly controllable torque vectoring, with Ferrari claiming the entirely in-house developed units use Formula 1 spec engineering in their construction. In performance mode, you have 972 brake horsepower to play with. Pull that launch control toggle on the roof though, and you'll get a brief burst of 1035 brake horsepower. When the Luce is using all of its energy potential, a sub 2.5 second 0 to 62 time is possible. 0 to 124 miles an hour is over with in just 6.8 seconds. Those 4 motors need a huge amount of power, with a massive 122 kilowatt battery pack running on 800 volts, set as low as possible in the chassis. Ferrari claims a 329 mile range for the Luce, which is okay, but not amazing in the competitive world of today's EVs. It also comes with active suspension that's similar to what you'll find on the F80 and Purosangue, as well as independent rear-wheel steering. Huge carbon ceramic brakes are also fitted as standard, though the Luce's massive energy regeneration capabilities will help it in day-to-day driving.
Ferrari is also introducing a unique sound for the Luce. Ferrari wants to make it very, very clear that it's not a copy of anything, it's not an imitation, it's all sounds based off the powertrain itself.
Which then leads into something called torque shift engagement. It's effectively a paddle shift mechanism for when you're in performance mode. There are 5 steps that both increase torque and decrease brake regeneration. The system doesn't cut power like Hyundai's N-Shift tech though. Instead, it's designed purely as a bit of fun when you're out on a good road.
Oh, and if you want to know the price, in the UK, Ferrari says it'll set you back around £440,000, with the first customer cars arriving in early 2027.
That is a lot of money, even for a Ferrari these days. For reference, an electric Porsche Cayenne Turbo has similar performance and space, and is a quarter of the price. Still, if you're well-heeled enough to order one, it probably won't matter, and will almost certainly cost even more when you start customizing and adding options.
So there we have it, Maranello's first ever electric car. The Luce is unlike anything we've ever seen from Ferrari before. But does that make it one of the greats? Only time will tell.
Want a little bit more Ferrari action? Watch James drive the epic F80 hypercar on track, or see how the new Amalfi does when battling against the Aston Martin Vantage S and Porsche's 911 Turbo S.